So you made the decision that now is the right time to buy a house, but you're probably asking yourself, well, should I buy a new house or should I buy a used house? A new house, you get all the awesome customization and features that come with them, while used houses have better value and they're in established neighborhoods. Which one is right? Well, we're gonna go through all of that on this episode of Bald Prairie Real Estate. We're gonna talk about what's better, a used house or a brand new one. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bald Prairie Real Estate, where I educate you about anything Canadian real estate related, whether it's buyer tips or Canadian real estate market updates. If you're new here, my name is Matthew Pfeiffer. I'm a real estate agent from Regina, Saskatchewan. This week's episode is a question I've been asked actually a fair bit before, and that is, what's better, a used house or a brand new house? Now, I want to break this out a little bit because I'm talking new properties. I'm talking about whether it's a custom build or a home that has been just recently completed by a builder or still under construction. I'm not talking about pre-construction type properties, which I am going to be doing a video about. I'll put it up here. If it's already done by the time you're watching this video, that's where you'll be able to check that one out. So new houses or custom, often you'll hear when it's a new house, you hear the term spec build because the builder has built it to a specific specification. Depending when you come in and want to buy that property, how far along it is in construction will determine how much flexibility and customization options you have. Obviously, with a custom house, you'll have to do whatever you want. So that's what we're gonna be comparing, a used property versus a brand new property. But as always, we're gonna start this off with another terrible joke. And this is another viewer joke. I love them, they're my favorite. This one is from Dan. It says, why can you never tell secrets in a cornfield? Because there's just too many ears. If you've got a great joke, leave it in the comments below and I'll put it in a future episode of Bald Prairie Real Estate. When you're buying a new house, especially if you're gonna go the custom route, that's when you get to pick all your options, your features, your paint colors, finishes, absolutely everything. That's buying the dream house because you get to pick all of those options. But there's a ton of advantages to buying a new house versus an older house. One of the biggest is going to be warranty. Now, each province has a provincial warranty program and they typically have 5 and 10-year links on them. And what they cover is generally gonna have 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, and 10-year stop points as to specific items are covered for those lengths of time. So check with your provincial body to see what is covered and how long it's covered for, as well as ask the builder that you're dealing with what warranty is offered and how long those things are covered. You're also gonna get a house that is built with the most modern materials, design, building codes, features, everything is gonna be up to date and modern. You're gonna get things like en-suites, open concept floor plans, large closets, things that aren't available necessarily in older houses. Big basement windows is another one you generally don't see in older houses, but you do see it a lot in newer houses. Your appliances or your mechanical systems are also fully covered under warranty. Those are some of the awesome benefits of buying a new house, but what are some of the disadvantages? One of the biggest is going to be cost. New houses are almost always going to be more expensive than a used house. You have more expensive materials, land, and labor, not to mention GST and often PST are charged on top of construction costs or included as part of your cost of building. And you might have land taxes as well. Now those apply both to new and used homes, but almost always a new home is going to be more expensive. Because you're not buying in an established neighborhood, your community services, schools, commercial services, and public transit might not be yet available in the neighborhood. You're going to have to wait for those. And I find new homes have less privacy than used homes because they don't have the trees in the streets and in the backyards. Newer houses typically are built a little bit closer together. They're built where they're a little bit higher out of the ground, so you kind of feel like you're in a fishbowl with everybody looking down on you while you're in your backyard. But would you be willing to look past those negatives of buying a new house just to get the awesome benefits of buying that new house? Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about used houses now. Those are some of the advantages and disadvantages of buying a brand new house, but what about the advantages and disadvantages of buying a used house? Let's talk about the advantages first. You're gonna be buying a house in an established neighborhood. You've got trees, the front yard, the backyard, down the street that have all grown up. You have established community centers, community services, commercial spaces. You know where all that stuff is going to be. You've got public transit that's already in place. So you know all of that before you move in. You're not waiting for that to be built and established while you're living in that home. You also have a huge value advantage when buying a used property. Generally, they're going to be cheaper than new properties, but also you don't have any GST or PST taxes on top of your purchase price like you would on a new house. You will, though, have land transfer taxes if that applies in your jurisdiction. Used homes are very unique as well, whereas new homes are generally built fairly similar and consistent. There's not a lot of differentiation between different types of homes. Used houses are all completely different, so you've got that unique flair that isn't available in a newer home. You're going to have privacy as well because of those trees being established. You're going to have less people kind of looking down in on you like you do in new neighborhoods because you've got those trees and also larger lots. So that's some of the advantages of buying a used house. Let's talk about some of the disadvantages. Buying a used house obviously is the best choice because of all those awesome benefits. What about some of the drawbacks to buying a used house? Because it's used, some of the systems are going to be used, worn, older, out of date, broken, things like that. So mechanical, plumbing, wiring, sewers, all those types of things may be broken, worn down, and they're likely not going to meet current building codes because they were built a long time ago. So you want to make sure you do diligence that that is up to modern standards or that's going to be adequate for your needs. You're also going to have to look out for things like lead and asbestos, types of products that were used in older homes that aren't used in newer homes. So make sure when you do due diligence, you look for all those types of things. If you're wanting large closets and en-suites, those typically weren't available in older homes because it wasn't standard of the day. It wasn't something that buyers were desiring, so they didn't build that. Those are things you won't find. You're also probably not going to find things like open concept floor plans, large basement windows. Again, weren't standard for the time. Now, let's wrap this up and talk about what is better for resale, used houses or new houses. So what's the better choice, a new house or a used house? Well, as you can see, it's very much up to personal preference and what fits your needs better. But one question that I do get asked a lot is, well, which one is better for resale value? Let's talk about new houses first. Much like when you buy a brand new car and as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's worth less. The same factor applies to new houses. If you had two houses sitting side by side, they're exactly identical, and you move into one, that is going to be likely less desirable to a buyer than the one that's right next door that's identical, that's had nobody living in it. How much that value depreciates really depends by market and features and everything else, but everything being equal, a new house that has just been moved in is going to be a little bit less valuable than the one right next door that hasn't had anybody living in it. And so when you're buying a used property, that depreciation has already happened. So unless you have market forces driving prices down, that shouldn't lose any further value, unlike that new house that will lose some value. So are you thinking about buying a house this year? Well, if you'd like to be put in touch with a fantastic real estate agent in your neighborhood, let me know. I'll put my contact information below so I can put you in touch with a fantastic realtor that's going to help you find the perfect house, whether it's a new house or a used house. If you want more educational videos about first-time homebuyer topics, for example, I got you covered right there, first-time homebuyer playlist. How about just learning about Canadian real estate in under 2 minutes? Well, right here are episodes of 2 Minute Tuesday where I'm going to cover one topic in 2 minutes or less. As always, guys, thanks very much for watching.